Hello, beloved, beautiful friends. Welcome. I am the Organizer Advisor, Dr. Lisa Winfield, and my goal, my passion, my purpose is to help you enhance your happiness and transform your life. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, a special warm welcome to you. I hope you find something uplifting in this morning message. Today is May 24th. It is Sunday, and Sundays I do things a little differently, so you're going to want to stay to the very end because there are two reasons that this particular Sunday is special. Number one, it is the Sunday before a major holiday in the United States called Memorial Day, where we honor those who have sacrificed for our freedom. So there's some things that need to get done today because Memorial Day usually is a day of family gatherings, remembrance, picnics, cookouts, and parades. There's also another reason that this Sunday is a little different because it is the last Sunday of the month. So this is the last week of the month, and stay till the end and I'll tell you why that's significant and what I do differently this week. But first, grab your hydration beverage. Let's have a sip and a sit while we share an uplifting message to help make the most of this day. All right, I'm going to pull a Buddha Doodle card, and then that's the only card I'm going to pull today because the rest of the video will be some suggestions on how you can prep for this week, and I'm going to also throw in a lot of suggestions. So I'm going to make some suggestions on how you can prep for the incoming week to reduce your stress. Also, there's some strategies for helping save money, and then also my cleaning framework so that we can be proactive and keep up instead of catch up. And then also I'm going to share with you kind of my self-care routines for today. So it's all kind of dovetailed together. So let's get started on the Buddha Doodles. Everything is sacred. And that's really interesting because he's making the bed. And that's one of the things that I'm going to talk about today. All right, everything is sacred. Your daily routines, your daily frameworks help to establish some comfort for your nervous system. Routines, your body begins to understand what to expect, so it helps to regulate your nervous system. Many of us are living with dysregulated nervous systems, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit too. Dysregulated nervous system, the first sign is fatigue. The second sign is brain fog, anxiety, depression. It's not feeling comfortable in your environment, constantly being overwhelmed and overstressed to the point where you just get numb. And you'll hear the self-talk, gosh, I'm just lazy. You're not. It's just your nervous system is dysregulated and all of your energy is in your sympathetic nervous system. You are in survival mode. Now, we've talked about this and how your environment, I did a video solely on how your environment and your nervous system interact, and how having an organized home helps to have a healthy nervous system. So you can check that video out. It's in the playlist. All right, so what's different about Sunday? What do I do differently about Sunday? Well, I have some prep steps. I'm going to be proactive. I'm going to get ready for the week because I never know what's coming. But speaking of, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check my agenda and I'm going to see what I have coming up this week. So I have, it's written in pencil so you can't really see it. But I do have some things this week. So I'm going to plan according to my agenda. Now, what am I going to plan? Now, I'm going to plan my menu. Now, there are nights that I'm going to be here and nights that I'm going to be home late, so I'm going to adjust my menu to meet those specific requirements. But I'm also going to take some time and go through my refrigerator, freezer, and pantry, and I'm going to see what needs to be used, specifically produce, dairy, perishables, because I want to use those. I'm going to maximize my food budget dollars, and I'm not going to have any food waste. So I'm going to look at what I have that needs to be cooked or prepared. And then I'm going to make my menu around that. And then I'm going to create a shopping list to purchase only what I need in order to utilize those ingredients. Now, I do this every week, but specifically the end of the month. So I'm going to use up any residual food that's in my pantry, in my freezer, in my refrigerator that needs to be cooked. Now, this is condiments, any kind of, my flour, my sugar, my pantry staples. I like to use those every month. I have fresh food every month. I live in Florida. I cannot store a lot of perishable food because the humidity. Now, I do have food storage that's freeze-dried food, so in case we have a hurricane, I have food. However, my pantry, my refrigerator, and my freezer are not overstocked. And I really find that I utilize more of what I have when I'm not overwhelmed and overstocked with food. Now, I date my condiments, so I know when they need to be used. I know when they were opened. So I'm going to plan my menu for the week based upon what I have that needs to be used. And at the end of the month, I'm really diligent about that. For example, I'm just going to give you a little, I have a refrigerated pie crust that needs to be used, but I also have some jelly in my pantry, jars of jelly that I made. And so I'm going to make what I call a jelly tart. I'm just going to put the jelly in a saucepan. I'm going to melt it down. I'm going to add a little bit of sugar, a little bit of pectin, and then I'm going to pour that into a prepared pie crust. Put it in the refrigerator, top it with whipped cream, and now I have a jelly tart. It's a great dessert, and it was really expensive, and I used some things in my pantry that I needed to use. Okay, so you get the gist of that. Now, what's the next thing I'm going to do? I'm going to look at my wardrobe. I like to pull all the clothes that I need for the week. So now I do have a laundry framework so that I, am able to keep up with the laundry during the week, so I don't have piles of laundry on the weekend. If you're interested in that, I have a video on it, but I'll do another one if you want more information. But I basically wear certain colors during the week, and then when my children were little, I kind of dressed them in the same colors. So at the end of that day, for example, on Mondays, I wear reds, pinks, oranges, or yellows. At the end of Monday, I could throw all of the clothes in the laundry, wash them, dry them while I'm doing dinner, and I was giving the kids a bath, or we were having family time, and we were prepping for bed, take them out, dry them, fold them, put them away. And I'm not going to see that color again for the rest of the week. So I'm not doing piles and piles of laundry at the end of the week. I do it every night. I do just one small load of laundry, and then that's done. Friday, done. Awesome. So that worked for me. It might work for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my agenda. What specific garments do I need to wear? Do I have a business meeting? Do I have, am I going to meet with a client? Am I going to be organizing somebody's storage unit? So I'm going to go ahead and pull the clothes that I need. I'm going to accessorize them. So purses, scarves, shoes. That way it's going to reduce your getting dressed stress. Now, if you've been following my laundry system and my rainbow closet wardrobe reconstruction system, everything in my closet is already ready to wear. I don't have to iron, I don't have to mend. I know the zippers work, and I know the buttons are all there, and I know everything fits. So what I can do is just pull something from the wardrobe, and I don't have to worry about prepping it. It's already prepped. I've already organized my clothing by color so I can find what I need, and also my accessories. So now I'm really going to have that professional pulled together look, and I'm not going to have that getting dressed stress. So there we go. That's another thing that I'm going to prep so that I'm proactively prepared for the week. All right, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to get my grab and go binder ready. Now, what is this? There's a document organization playlist. Look on the playlist on the YouTube channel. You're going to find a whole video on grab and go binder. This is a binder where I keep all of the stuff that's usually tacked to the refrigerator in the junk drawer. It's on the dining room table, it's on the bedroom dresser, or it's on the countertop. And those tend to get lost or misplaced, and that causes a lot of frustration and a lot of stress. I'm talking event tickets. I'm talking claim check tickets for, a tool or something that you had repaired, dry cleaning. This could be your prescriptions you need to be filled. This could be your children's school papers field trip papers you need to fill out. It could be a referral for medical. It could be insurance papers you need to file. It could be, I do coupons. So I have a tab in here for coupons. Right there. And so these are the coupons that I'm going to use. You can have your store sales flyer in here. You can have all the things you need so that when you go to run errands, you didn't forget anything, particularly receipts for things you want to return. So that way you have them in your grab and go binder. So as you purchase during the month, you just put the receipt in there. If you need to return something, you have the receipt. You're not looking for it. It didn't accidentally get thrown away, but you have everything that you need that you use in the next 30 days. At the end of the month, I clean this out. I file the things that need to be filed, but then I can dispose of receipts that I don't need anymore. But if I have something in here, when I'm running errands, I didn't forget it at home, I'm maximizing my fuel as well as reducing my frustration because I'm not spending tons of time in traffic. So that's another prep step for me. I get this ready to go. Now that I have my coupons in here, I can go ahead and put my shopping list, and now I have that aligned. I can also put store sales flyers, and then that way I'm maximizing my grocery budget. I have it all with me. I even clip my store loyalty cards to the inside. I have them on a key ring, so now I can really maximize my savings. Next thing I do is I take vitamins and supplements. Many of us do. If you subscribe to that practice, this is a great day to go ahead and get those prepped for the week. If you do protein powders or supplement shakes, you can go ahead and prep those as well. So that way you can put them in your gym bag when you go to the gym. You can have your vitamins ready so you can take them and support your health. That's purely optional. I do it, but I like to prep mine on Sundays so I have them all ready for the week. Also, your medications, you can go ahead and get medications ready for the week if you have a medication organizer, but then you can check and see if you need a prescription refill or updated medication. All right, planning your menu, in reducing food waste, and creating a shopping list where you're just buying what you need to execute that menu, using what you have, so you're going to save some money on your food budget. Also planning your wardrobe, reducing that getting dress stress. Looking at your agenda, making sure you know what you have upcoming this week. Get your grab and go binder prepped and ready. Another thing that I do to get ready for the week is I clean out my purse. This is going to help because you're going to know where your keys are. You're not fumbling around Monday trying to find your keys. You've got your credit cards, your checkbook, your cash. You have everything you need because you've looked at your agenda. You know what you're going to need. So you have everything ready. If you have to go through tolls, you have your little toll thing. Clean out your purse. If you have receipts, they go in your grab and go binder. But you know where everything is. You have all of your toiletries and your purse is lighter. And that's going to help because having a really heavy purse can create back problems, neck problems, shoulder problems. So lighten the load, clean out your purse, make sure you have everything you need, your favorite lip gloss, your keys, your wallet, you have everything prepared. Now, let's move on to the cleaning. You know I have a cleaning framework. I do my cleaning through the week. I don't want to have to do much on weekends. Now, on Sundays, it's Clean Sheet Sunday for me. So I put fresh sheets on the bed Sunday, as well as I clean the primary bedroom. And it doesn't have to be a deep, just tidy it up. Now, because this is the last week of the month, this is my fiscal fast week. This means I am going to reduce the amount of spending and reduce the amount of time I'm out doing things. I try to stay home more this week. I do have videos on fiscal fasting on the financial playlist. These are just, you can Google fiscal fasting. A lot of people incorporate this. It was paradigm shifting for me, because I didn't realize how much money I was spending on little things. The coffee house coffees, I do my coffee at home during fiscal fast. Taking your lunch instead of purchasing lunch out. Eating at home more instead of going out for dinner. And also, reducing the amount of just unnecessary spending. Now, keyword, unnecessary. You still may need to spend money. But this is the week that if I'm going to go out to dinner, I'm using a gift card. If I have a gift card to use. Also, this is the week that I utilize the food in my refrigerator, pantry, and freezer so that I'm not going out to eat. And if I have a menu, I'm more likely to cook at home, which is healthier and more cost effective. The other thing about fiscal fasting is I use the almost empty. So I go through all my toiletries and all of my cleaning products, although I only use like Listerine and Murphy's oil soap. I minimal cleaning product. I don't spend a lot of money on cleaning products. So I use the almost empties. This helps to declutter the bathroom. It declutters your cleaning cabinet, and just use those almost empties and recycle those containers. Okay, so that's kind of how I do fiscal fast, but my cleaning routine is I clean, because I'm home more, I do a deeper cleaning at the end of the month, kind of gives me that closure, fresh energy coming in for the new month. So this is the time I'm going to maybe wash the bedding. I'm going to, make sure I vacuum under the bed. I'm going to maybe just wipe down the baseboards, dust everything really well, clean those electronics, ceiling fan, light fixture, and, not an every nook and cranny clean, but it is definitely a tidy up and more of a deeper clean. So that's what I'm going to do this week throughout the house. And because I have a cleaning framework, I do specific rooms every day so that I'm not overwhelmed, and weekends aren't spent cleaning and laundry and trying to catch up. I abhor that feeling of feeling like I have to spend all of my free time catching up. All right. The other thing I do is I do clean the primary bathroom. So this is going to be at the end of the month. I'm going to wash my shower curtain, the bath mat. I'm going to give an extra good scrub on the tub, the tile. Just a little deeper cleaning than my normal weekly cleaning. But because it's Sunday, I change my towels. I want fresh towels, and I wash my bath sponges and loofah sponges and the little, all the little bath implements. Now, speaking of bath, my healthcare ritual for today is I do a Sunday soak. That is a bubble bath and Epsom salts, and it just kind of helps me just decompress from the week, get started in a less stressful way in the incoming week. I light a candle, I have a little champagne, but it's also a detox. So I do some fasting on Sunday. So I do a little bit of fasting and what I call flushing. So I really like hydrate, and then I detox in the tub with my Sunday soak. I get out of the tub, I put on my ooh la las, and then I slip into those clean sheets. That to me sets me up for a good night's sleep to start my week off right. The other thing I do is declutter the bedside table. This is really, really important, because when you wake up, the first thing you see is a cluttered bedside table. That sets your energy right there. Your energy is in your sympathetic nervous system. If you look over and you see a serene, decluttered, calm bedside table, maybe put a fresh flower, go out on the roadside and pick out just a little tiny bouquet of flowers, or in your garden, or pick some up while you're out with the grocery shopping. Put a fresh flower by your bedside table. When you wake up in the morning and you see that, and that's the first thing you see, you are in your parasympathetic nervous system. So you start your day with calm energy, not chaotic energy. It makes a huge difference. So declutter that bedside table while you clean that primary bedroom. All right, so let's just kind of go through again the prep steps. All right, so we have our agenda, our grab and go binder, our purse is clean, and then we have our primary bedroom clean, clean sheets, and then our bathroom is clean with clean towels, restock, the cotton swabs, the toilet paper, and then if there's anything you need toiletry wise, write it on your shopping list. And then end the day with your Sunday soak, detox, relax, and it will help. Now, speaking of like right before bed, I do want to mention something that I just saw a great piece of research on. Now, one of the things I like to do on Sunday is I like to spend time in prayer, stillness, meditation, or in scripture. So it's just kind of my spiritual routine to kind of uplift and, bring in some light into my little soul. And speaking of, I like candles. I like candles all throughout the house. But one of the things that I read recently, Wall Street Journal, is the benefits of coloring for adults. So remember we were talking about that dysregulated nervous system? You'll know when you have a dysregulated nervous system because you have a difficult time relaxing. Now, one of the benefits of coloring is it helps to calm your nervous system. It's called a soft meditation. So if you can just get one of these little mini coloring books. They're all over the place. Dollar General has them. But you can just color. And this is a great way to relax before bed that's not scrolling. Remember, when we are when we engage in screen time before bed, it activates our brain. And we want our brain to be calm. So this is a great way to kind of, right after your Sunday soak, maybe do a little coloring instead of screen time. Since you're already in a more relaxed mood, before you amp yourself back up, with, screen time, perhaps a little coloring. Let me talk to you about some of the benefits. Again, it's a soft focus kind of meditation. It's going to help slow your breathing. It's going to help regulate your nervous system. So if you know you have a dysregulated nervous system, this is a great activity for you. It slows your breathing, slows your heart rate. It is good for fine motor skills, and it reduces stress. It gets you into that mindfulness, calm, serene state of being. Coloring helps to improve your focus and attention, and it gives you a way of emotional expression, just choosing bright, uplifting colors. But it's also the coloring in the lines. There's something about that coloring in the lines. It's almost it almost activates your sense of security. That's how I feel. When I color, it just kind of gives me that framework. So I'm not having to, there's no pressure for me to create. I don't have to deep think. A blank page often kind of makes me feel a little pressured. Like I gotta create something. I don't have to create this. All I have to do is put the pencil to the paper or the marker to the paper and just color. And I can pick colors so that expresses myself, but it also just gives me a sense of completion. So I'm just going to make that suggestion to you. If you know you have a dysregulated nervous system, I'm going to suggest some coloring. It also makes your inner child really happy. All right, I know this was a long video today. I thank you for hanging in to the end. I hope this kind of gives you a little bit more of a framework for both fiscal fasting. Now, remember, all the resources are on my YouTube channel. The playlists are there. I'm in the process of cleaning up the playlists because I put so many videos out. There's like 600 videos. But I'm going through and updating. There are some old videos there, so please forgive some of that. But I'm going to update each playlist one at a time. So I know I've done the documents. Now I'm working on Organize to Utilize. So, all right, that is the video for today. I hope you have a wonderful, serene, relaxing, restorative day. Thank you for the comments, by the way. I really do appreciate it. I love hearing from you. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow I won't be doing it's a holiday, so I'm going to take the day off. But I will see you back here on Tuesday. Until then, my beautiful friends, be well.